Hey, welcome to World Entertainment, and boy oh boy have we stumbled across another stinker, because Season 5 of Stranger Things, of course, is being released in blocks, and unfortunately, they've dropped the ball. We have another Game of Thrones level of disaster on our hands, with what should have been a final farewell that left us all with a smile on our face to say that was a satisfying ending. And unfortunately, that's not happening. In fact, this is being called the worst season of Stranger Things, and that's saying something, because season 2 and 3, especially 3, get a lot of hate. But it looks like God's forgiven with those seasons, because this one is not doing well. And when you get starting to get headlines like Stranger Things season 5 episode 7 sets unwanted record ahead of series final, that unwanted record, yeah, you've already guessed it, it's had the lowest ratings of any episode in the entire show's history, and that's bad. But it didn't end there, because then you were getting headlines that said Stranger Things fans missed massive plot point in new episodes as creators reveal what really happened. That's an indication of horrible writing, and the scene, of course, was Nancy and Jonathan breaking up. That fans were so confused over the dialogue and how the scene played out that they didn't actually understand and realize that they broke up in the scene. Quite frankly, I'm not 100% sure how you couldn't figure that out when he throws the ring away after it, but it's like, okay. And the Duffer Brothers actually had to come out and clear up the confusion. Like, you've done your job so piss poorly if you have to come out and explain what you've just watched, because Matt Duffer told people that's a breakup, they are broken up. And then he also added, I mean, how many people wind up with their girlfriend or boyfriend that they met in high school? So they had to come out and explain to people, oh yeah, they broke up. Like, did you not get that? That's because this season has been horrendous, with some of the most horrendous writing. But the worst part, and the part that has pissed everybody off, and they are getting called out something terrible for it, is the whole plot point that Will is gay, and that the whole show has all of a sudden focused on him being gay. In fact, he gets his powers from accepting the fact that he's gay. And we end up with a headline reading, Stranger Things creators spent more time writing Will coming out scene than the show's world-ending plot. Ha! Gay! And we're going to have a look at this article, which is on that Park Place, but the fact that this seems to be the case, because this show so far has gone nowhere. With everything that needs to be wrapped up and stuff, it's gone nowhere. And in fact, you keep getting told time is of an essence. We only have this amount of time to do this thing. We need to be fast to do this thing. They are constantly stopping and having conversations that are meaningless, that you couldn't care less about. Oh look, time is of an essence. They need to find this thing to get out of this area. Oh, but they're going to stop and bitch and argue over Jonathan and Stephen wanting to be with Nancy and stuff like that. And practically every scene now with Will is Will just wanting to talk about being gay. And it's like, you gotta be kidding me, right? Wrong. 11 basically is non-existent in this season. I don't even know what purpose she has in this season. She has done nothing, because the whole thing has been focused on Will being gay. So let's have a look at this. So it says, by the way, this will contain some spoilers, so not that I think anyone really cares. By the way, spoilers, nothing has happened. Nothing. We've had 7 episodes now and nothing has happened. Except we found out what the upside down is, and boy, was that just a piss in your pants horrible moment. So in a season of Stranger Things packed with apocalyptic stakes, collapsing realities, and revelations about the very fabric of entire dimensions, one creative revelation stands out, and not for the reasons fans might expect. According to the Duffer Brothers, the now infamous Stranger Things scene where Will Byers comes out to his friends and family took longer to write than any other scene in the show's 5-season run.
Right.
Not the near destruction of the world, not Vecna's endgame, not the mysteries the series has spent a decade building toward. This was the scene that demanded the most time, concern, and creative caution.
Oh my.
So before we go on with this, keep that in mind. This isn't the case of just for this season. It was the hardest thing they did. 5 seasons of writing, and they spent the most amount of time writing a scene for a guy to come out to his friends and family to say, oh yeah, by the way, I'm gay. It's like, you're shitting me, right? This is a joke, isn't it? So, and remember what I said before, his powers come from him accepting that he's gay. That's insane as well. So that admission alone raises uncomfortable questions about priorities, especially when weighed against everything else happening in Stranger Things Season 5. The revelation comes directly from co-creator Matt Duffer in a post-episode breakdown interview with Variety, where he said, "We were so concerned about getting it right. We're definitely nervous about how it's going to go over with everyone." He went on to clarify that the anxiety wasn't just about audience reaction, but about how the scene would be received by actor Noah Schnapp himself, because ultimately it needed to resonate and be truthful for him. We really were writing it to and for Noah, he said. Duffer added that Schnapp's response was emotional. He wrote us sobbing after he read it. So it really worked and resonated for him, which was great. Now, I want you to keep in mind as well that this is the character that clearly was meant to be gay from the very beginning. Noah Schnapp himself has now come out to say, if it wasn't for the character Will being gay, I may not have ever realized my own actual sexuality in the world, which is he's come out now as gay. But he's also the kid who was asked when he was 12 and 13 by journalists and all the rest around the industry, hey, are you gay?
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
What kind of crap is it? It almost sounds like they were trying to, I don't want to say groom, but definitely shape his life for him with this character. And I don't think that's a great thing. In fact, that's a very strange thing to do. Stranger Things, you know? But it's kind of like, that's insane. And then the fact that you've built all the way up to season 5 just for this character to really pour his heart out, to be gay, to tell his friends, and to gain powers from being gay. He literally gets the power of the gay. It's like, this is insane. So it's no wonder there's been a massive amount of backlash to this season, because the fact that you're ignoring everything you're setting up, like the mind flare doesn't seem to exist anymore. All of this stuff is gone because their focus has been on this guy coming out. That is insane. And Paramount and Skydance right now must be looking at themselves going, what have we done by signing the Duffer Brothers to a mega deal to work for them? So I wouldn't be surprised if they end up in like the J.J. Abrams area, or the Dumb and Dumber who did Game of Thrones, where it's like, oh, we're going to pay you this amount of money to work exclusive for it. Oh, you've given us nothing. Because that's what's happening. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case with these guys. Or they give Paramount one thing, it bombs, and they get rid of them. They cancel that contract. By the way, season 5 of Stranger Things is a disaster. It's 100% garbage. Nobody's enjoying it. Everybody is shitting on it. It's been a colossal flop. And that is a very bad sign for Paramount with what they've signed up to with the Duffer Brothers. But What do you guys think? If you've watched the show, or do you agree that it's the worst? Do you actually enjoy it? Still, I should say, because it's 5 seasons now. What's just your overall thoughts on the whole show and the Duffer Brothers? Let me know. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.
So long, gay boys!
Wait